happy and we're singing and we're colored. Give me a high five.
What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, here with my brother from another, my guy, Big Game James. It's another, best of enemies. We about to get it popping, man. It's schedule day. It is schedule day. I feel like it's the first day of school. We're finding out where we're sitting, you know what I'm saying? Figuring out all the specifics of this season. But James, it's been a while. It's been a while since we've done this show. So how you doing, brother? How you been?
I'm doing good. It has been a while. It's been a long while, and it's good to be back. I'm glad that we are back. Best of Enemies podcast. Everybody, let's go. You know what I'm saying? It's that time, and the schedule is finally here. I'm tired of hearing all the people tweeting the leaks. Blah 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 leak. 2 hours later, blah, 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 leak. Oh, my God. Hurry up and get here so we can get this over with, please.
Yeah, this is my least favorite time of the year. Everybody has a story, right? That's why I've been kind of quiet over this past couple week really since the draft, because it's like I know there's going to be a bunch of craziness going around, and I'm really not trying to be. But I am excited. I am excited that we finally, like we were kind of talking about off air, like I'm excited that it's another step towards football, right? Like we finally get to kind of just, like you said, everybody shuts up about the leaks. There's really nothing else to look forward to other than veterans coming back, and then we get a little bit of break. But it's another step. Now, we talked a little bit about the schedule already. I know me and you kind of talked about the games we're looking forward to, and we will talk about that today as well. And obviously today at 8 o'clock, everything becomes official as far as the schedules go. They will release all the schedules. But I want to ask you about the draft, because that is kind of what held us up from doing this show. Obviously, I was out there in Kansas City.
Right.
Cowboys had, I think the day of, there was mixed emotions maybe from Cowboys fans, but now that you've gotten to kind of see the dust settle, you kind of know who you guys picked up in this draft. How do you feel about the Cowboys draft and just what they were able to do then?
I mean, a lot of people were frustrated. I had an open mind the whole time. Obviously the thing was there was some players we really could have had in that second or third round. They could have got aggressive. And they really didn't get that aggressive in this particular draft. But in my opinion, a lot of these are for the future. There wasn't a lot of open spots this season for these players. And you also got to look at where Dallas was picking. It wasn't like Dallas was picking 10th or 9th or, even 15th. They were picking 26th. So they're going to get the end of the litter. And even though they could have got some guys, I feel good about the draft. First of all, Mozzie, remember I think we talked about Mozzie before the draft, and I was like, and remember people were like, man, you don't like Michigan players. And because I was like, I'm a little leery of the big man in the middle. So, I was leery of that. And I was like, I need to see the pass rushing, because I wanted the pass rushing guy that could push the pocket. I love the size, love the ability, but I'm like, damn, I ain't really seen no Michigan big man really turn up since like a long time. But, once I looked at it, watched them again, and plus I trust the coaching staff that they'll bring the best out of them. I was excited about it. And then you go down the line, Luke, obviously Shoemaker, people were like, oh, is he going to play now? We'll see. I like the ability. I think he's better for the future. We'll see. He's a rookie. That's a lot to ask. So, that kind of threw me off. I think that's the most questionable one. But I like the DeMar Overshown. I don't know if he's going to get in the field this year because there's such a log jam, but he may. Oh yes, Lord Nova. I'm gonna get you that wrench. If I'm, let me make sure I'm gonna get. My bad, but I got you, Lord Nova. I got your wrench. So I got you. But back to this right quick. And then our other guys who had the offensive lineman. I seen like Richards. I mean, the offensive lineman. I think he could be. When you watch some tape, you're like, okay, you know what I mean. And then we had the cornerback from Southern Miss that a lot of people seem to like, and then I watched. I'm like, okay, he could compete because we got some guys that are on the bubble. So when I looked at the draft, like I said, our team didn't have a lot of holes. Remember, we talked about that. we didn't have a lot of holes. This was a luxury draft. So I think that's what they kind of went as, what are we trying to do right now? And I think when they came with that first round pick, they're saying we're all in on, we want to build these trenches. We said we ain't got a defensive tackle since 91 in the first round. So that let me know they're serious about that trench work. They're serious about building that defensive line. They're serious about making that line even stronger, because the run game has been our Achilles heel. Run defense has been our Achilles heel, and I like how they met that.
Yeah, I like Mozzie. I mean, obviously, I hate the team he's on now, but I like Mozzie. He's a good player. I saw him as a late first, probably like early second, mid second, splitting hairs at the end of the day. It was a good pick for you guys, a really good pick. Luke is actually from my home state. He's from Connecticut. So that's like,
nice.
I think that's like the third Connecticut player you guys have gotten in the past like 2 years. You guys picked up 2 undrafted guys from Connecticut last year. But either way, I mean, I know that a lot of people were talking about maybe that was a little bit high, and maybe it was. As far as the Eagles, I don't think that I can't make one complaint. I think from A to Z, we really did what we had to do. We were able to add a running back, in DeAndre Swift. We were able to obviously get Jalen Carter, Nolan. So, I mean, look. It feels good. It looks good on paper. It feels like the Eagles did everything they were supposed to, and maybe a little bit more. Tyler Sheen is somebody that I'm excited to see what he does in this system as far as the offensive line goes. But you hit it on the nail. We didn't really have to go out and get anything. We really had to just kind of go get the best players, and we were able to do that. Shout out to somebody in the chat. I forget who said it. Eagles has landed said it, but yeah, we did get Eli Ricks. I'm almost more excited about this undrafted free agency than I am about the actual drafted players, just because I know what these guys are. Like, I know what Jalen Carter is supposed to be, Nolan, but you know what these guys are supposed to be. Kaylee Ringo, you kind of are what he should be, especially from a 4th round pick. But you look at a guy like Eli Ricks, he can make a big impact. You look at, the punter we picked up, I forget his name is like Ty something, but they call him Legatron. He's a guy that could definitely make something shake. And I thought it was very interesting because our special teams coach had his interview today. He had his press conference today, and they asked him about the punter that we picked up in the undrafted free agency. And he was talking about he's a guy that you could, let Jake Elliott rest his leg because he can place kick just as well as he can punt. So we might be looking at a whole new punter, and that's not even something that I think we came into this offseason saying you have to, improve upon. I mean, there were definitely people that wanted to, but I don't think it was like a dire need. So I'm happy with this offseason so far, and I'm very happy with that draft. I do like Mozzie, though. I'm going to be 100%. I can't, I know a lot of people were probably talking junk when that happened because I don't think people realize the importance of just having a big guy that can eat up blocks. I think that that's very, very important. And I think sometimes people see the flashy player and don't realize, you still need that guy that can eat up blocks. But I like y'all draft. I like what y'all did. I do want to go into this schedule just a little bit because we do have a little bit of their leaks, right? Some of it's been confirmed. I know like the Eagles have like 4 matches that have actually been confirmed by reporters. Cowboys seem to have multiple ones that have been confirmed, but we look at the NFC East and specifically we look at the Eagles and the Giants. The Cowboys, if this is to be true, play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of their 8. 5 of their 6 division games after week 9. So down the stretch is when you guys really play your division games. Same can kind of be said about the Eagles. We play a lot of them. I say that to say this. Do you think this division is going to be as strong as it was last year? And do you think this stretch of, the last stretch of games is going to be very, very important for your team or for the Eagles or whoever is to win the NFC East? How big do you think that last stretch of games could be for any team?
Hold on one second. I think my mic's acting up. Hold on.
While his mic is going, I'm going to say how I feel, even though my headphones just went out. I don't know why. But either way, I asked that because I do think that the Eagles are
going to
be set up. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, my bad. Do that, but yes, I am. My thing is acting weird, bro.
I can hear you.
Okay, here we go. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay, cool. I didn't. So you going back to that schedule? What was the last part of that? What you said on there?
You guys have so basically the Eagles and the honestly the whole NFC East. I feel like we all
Will
play
we be
towards
better?
the
Yeah.
end of
Yes. Yes.
end of the
Yes.
year.
Okay, so to answer that, yes, definitely. I definitely feel like from last year, it's building. That defense got better with Washington because they re-signed your boy Payne. And and they like the Sam Howell kid, and they got some players over there. The Giants, you saw what they did last year, being a surprise in the playoffs, and I feel like they signed Dexter Lawrence. Obviously, they got Daniel Jones. That was crazy, but I feel like they're going to be a year better because I like that coach over there. So I feel like the NFC East is back. You playing against us, you play against the NFC East. It's going to be tough times. It's going to be tough games.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a fun year for the NFC East in specific. The Commanders, we'll see what happens with Sam Howell. I think that's really that's kind of the blank check. If he's good, then they might be really good. But the Giants, I mean, this is going to be a real prove it year for Daniel Jones, even though he already got his money, because I don't think there's many people, if anybody, that really thinks he's real. So it's
Right.
going to be fun. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited for these games, but we'll see what. Oh, somebody's racing out in your street.
Oh yeah, I got the window open. So if y'all hear anything, that's just we out there. We got
They out
I'm in
there
the hood.
racing.
Yeah, I'm in
Hey,
the
it is
hood,
what it
baby.
is.
I'm in
So
the hood,
I
baby.
wanted to go through because we both picked like 5 games that we're looking forward to in this season. Not NFC East games. That's why I kind of wanted to talk about the NFC East before. And if you guys have any questions about the season, about the schedule, whatever you want to ask in the comments, man. And we'll get into this. So want to pull this up. So you gave me your list of the 5 games you were looking forward to, the matchups you were looking forward to. I gave my 5, and shout out to everybody in the chat. We already got 100
Nice,
people in the chat. Be sure to hit that
nice.
like, hit that subscribe.
Hit that like and that subscribe button. We always talk about it. Hey, let's go hard on the likes. Make sure you hit likes on both sides and share, share, share.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we'll go with the ones that are kind of the same for now. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we'll start with the Bills, man. I mean, I personally, I'll say why I put them on my list. Personally, I just think that will be a very good measuring stick game for us. I think that's a game that's going to really show us who we are, depending, especially when it is, right? But I think this is a game that can really show us who we are and if we're going to compete this year, because they are a very good team every year. So offensively and defensively, I think that they'll be able to test us. So that's why I put the Bills there. And then obviously you got, Josh Allen out there, you got Stephon Diggs. So they got the players to make it a great game. So that's why I put the Bills. What are you looking for out of the Bills against the Cowboys?
Well, I believe we played them last 2019. And they came into Dallas and kind of whooped us up a little bit. And I kind of haven't forgot about that. And just like you said, it's a measuring stick, in my opinion. I mean, they're the talk of the town. Obviously, they're rolling in the playoffs year in and year out. Obviously, they got Josh Allen, they got Diggs, and obviously, the Diggs thing going on right there from both sides. So that'll be kind of personal right there. Just in that matchup, everybody's going to be talking about that Willie Gardner's brother. So that thing is going to be huge. You get what I mean? So, but just like you said, they're one of the top teams in the NFL. And so if you want to be the best, you got to go through the best, and they're one of the best teams in the NFL. So I think, like you said, it'll be a good measuring stick. And plus, we want to get some revenge on that last time we played them.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And Winston said we have the hardest schedule in the NFL this season, talking about the Eagles.
Well, we're right behind y'all.
I wanted to say about that because I was looking through it. And last year, I want to keep the same energy, right? So last year, my argument was that the difference of, number 1 hardest schedule and the bottom of the, league as far as strength of schedule. That sounds way more eloquent. But strength of schedule was like less than 1%. This year, it's even less. And I think it's like 0.149, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that's the difference between ours being at number 1 and whoever was at number 32. So it's really not that different. It's really not that different.
Right.
So yeah, I just wanted to keep the same energy because I know somebody's gonna want to clip me and say, "Oh, remember you said this." I remember.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I agree with you, man. I honestly shout out to the Bills, man. They they whooped y'all on Thanksgiving. I have nothing but love for that. But
Uh,
last year I wanted to see them. I'm gonna be 100% honest. Last year I wanted to see the Bills because I really thought like they could really show us who the heck we were because I
yeah,
didn't
and they
know
could
what we
smack you
were.
up a little bit, and Josh
They
Allen can
could.
run all over y'all.
If we go out there and blow them out, though, you know, people are going to be looking at us a little bit differently. They're going to be looking at us a little bit differently. Now,
I mean, if we go out there and blow them out, I mean, they're gonna be looking at us the same way. But at the end of the
exactly.
day,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, but I don't know about that because right now it's playoffs with us.
Yeah.
It ain't nothing else but playoffs.
Yeah.
For real.
Shout out to Carlos. He said, "Will y'all do the dual play-by-play streams for the Cowboys and Eagles?" Of course.
Oh hell yeah.
Of course. Those were fun. Those
Those are
made our
great.
girlfriends like so nervous.
Yeah, they're like, y'all cool, y'all good, y'all ain't mad at each other, are y'all? That's funny.
That's the fun part of it.
I know, right?
So let's go to the next one. Similar is the Jets. And honestly, I have a personal reason for the Jets. My nephew's a huge Jets fan. I think we go play them in New York, if I'm not mistaken. Either way, he's a huge Jets fan. They obviously have Aaron Rodgers. They had a good team last year, so it feels like they just added to that and got better where they lacked. Team wise, yes, this will probably be a pretty good game. It would be fun to see how we match up against them. But my reason was more so personal because I get to see, possibly see it with my nephew. But they're a good team. The Jets, they have done a lot of things right. I will say, as a negative, I think that they let Aaron Rodgers decide a little bit too much, if I'm being 100% honest. And we'll see how that works. But I think that they will be a good team, and I think they will be a team that will, again, maybe not a measuring stick like the Buffalo Bills, but they'll definitely be a good test.
Yeah, I mean, for me, for the Jets, kind of just the Aaron Rodgers thing. I mean, it doesn't mean as much because he's not with the Packers. I'm going to keep it real, and if we beat them, it'll take a little bit of the luster off because now he's like 800 years old and he's over with the Jets, so it takes a little bit of the luster away from that. But the Jets still beat us the last time we played them when they had Sam Darnold and they kicked our butts. I hated that game actually. That game disgusted me when we played them. So that's the bad taste in my mouth still from that game. Aaron Rodgers is over there, so I feel like what, you're over there, Aaron Rodgers, and you still think you're all that. So I just want to kind of put the beat down. So I want our defense to go over there and really destroy them. Offense, I'm cool on that game, but defense, I really want to have one of those defensive kind of El Dominato games. When you have one of those dominating games, I want that defense to get the 5 sacks, the 6 sacks, the strip fumbles, the interceptions. I want to beat down on that game. So yeah, that game, it's kind of personal.
And while we're talking about the Jets, shout out to Cole's Cowboys. Cole's is like, I man, let me not say it, but he brought up a good question, and I'm gonna ask a question. I was about to say something totally. Shout out to Cole's. Appreciate you being in here. He said, "Is it just me? I think the Jets are pretenders like the Broncos were." How do you feel about that? Because I do think that there's a very good.
I think they're overrating them right now just because Aaron Rodgers, he was the missing piece. We saw how good the Jets were last year, but that doesn't mean the chemistry, because remember when Brett Favre came over there, they were like, "Oh, Brett Favre's over here and woo woo woo." So I think that's what we need to be aware of, because we've seen that time and time again when you just hype a squad, then they just flop. You know what I mean? But the good thing about the Jets is they're not old; they have a young team. But it's a new quarterback going over there to them, so they can say what they want. We don't know if Aaron Rodgers is going to get along with that coaching staff. We don't know if Aaron Rodgers is going to get along with the passing coordinator. We don't know if he's going to get along with the offensive coordinator. He has been with the Green Bay Packers his whole career. Now he's going over to a whole new team. It doesn't work every single time when that happens. You know what I mean? So people are just banking on it because of Aaron Rodgers and the Jets were how they were last year. But yeah, it could be fraudulent because we got to see what the chemistry is. I believe the talent is there. I don't believe the fraudulent talent that's not fraudulent talent, but I feel chemistry might be the biggest thing. Shout out to Lord Nova for the 199 holla too. Thank you.
Yes, I can't wait for the Chargers game.
Ooh,
We'll get to the Chargers game. I want to
Yep.
go over the last one that's a common game for us that we have here, at least. The San Francisco 49ers.
Yes.
You know, I did. It's funny because my girlfriend saw my list and she was like, "Why do you have the 49ers there? Like, don't they just want to be our competition? They want to be our rival." And yes, baby, yes they do, baby. I don't know why the heck the 49ers like hate us so much. Obviously, you know, it was a tough game. It sucks to lose in the playoffs, and it sucks to lose the way that they lost. But you lost. I mean, the amount that they've been talking about us over this offseason has just been crazy. So I just want to shut them the heck up. I was hoping this would be kind of an earlier game. And it's funny because Kyle Shanahan got asked about playing us later in the season. And he was like, "Oh, finally we get to have all our players and we won't have like, bro, stop. Why are you still complaining, bro?"
Yeah.
So this was another one that I was like, I just want to shut these guys up. If we lose, we lose. It is what it is. But I want to shut these guys up. And that's really what it comes down to. There's really not, they're a great team. And maybe you can look at them as a measuring stick game as well. I personally don't. I'm going to be 100% honest. I don't even know who their quarterback is yet. So until that gets talked to me about, then I don't really care about them. But this is a game I just want to shut them the hell up. Like, just stop it. Just be quiet.
Yeah.
Eric Crocker, you my guy. Jason Aponte, y'all my guys. But I don't want to hear y'all talk no more, bro. I don't want to hear no more.
Yeah, I mean, we're agreeing on a lot of things right now, and I'm being agreeing. So if you go to my Twitter page, you know, I said I don't really care about the Niners matchup on Week 5. You know, they're posting all on Twitter. Week 5, the revenge game. It ain't no revenge game to me, dog. I really don't look at it like that because you know what? Who cares about them Week 5? Yes, it's a NFC game. That's the only thing I care about. It's an NFC game, and you look at playoff seeding or how it affects your your season as far as the seeding and that aspect. But that's it. I'm not looking for any kind of revenge. I don't San Francisco, I can't stand them, but I want to beat you in the playoffs. I don't care about no damn regular season. So yes, I want to beat them in the regular season for the fact of it's an NFC game, and you need that, right? And because you want the natural win, right? But I'm not overhyping this game like it's a rematch from the playoffs of the last 2 years. No. Now, if the boys want to come in there with that aspect, that's fine. But nobody's going to remember that game if you play them in the regular season and you beat their pants off, and then you see them in the playoffs again and they whoop your butt. Nobody's going to remember that game, right? So that's why I'm not hyping this game. It doesn't have that bearing on me. It's another game, and like you said, I'm not scared of no San Francisco. I feel like our team is going to be better. Our defense is going to be better. We should have won that damn game anyway. It was more us than them, in my opinion, and I'm going to stay with it. They can jump up and down and do backflips and say what they want, but that's what I'm staying with. It was more us than them. And, you know, we had the big injury from Tony Pollard, and I felt like it was over. So we'll see. We'll see when we play Week 5. Okay, but I want to see y'all in the playoffs again, hopefully, because I want to get at y'all.
Yeah, and what you just said perfectly explains how I feel about Kansas City, right? Like Kansas City, you took something from me. I feel like we need to go and get it back. And that's not, hating on them. They won. It is what it is. There's a million, excuses I can come up with. There's a million reasons I can say we lost that game. But at the end of the day, we lost it. And I want to see them in the playoffs. Like a lot of people, kind of like you were saying with the whole, revenge game. People were talking about, I want Kansas City Week 1, Super Bowl. Like, that's not the Super Bowl. Week 1 won't matter by Week 5. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless you lose it. So I do not care about that. I want to get back to the playoffs, and I want to get back in the position to right what was wrong, in my opinion. And I would love to see the Cowboys instead of the San Francisco 49ers in that championship game. I would
me
love
too.
that.
I would love it too.
That.
I was hoping for that. That's what you're right. It was supposed to happen, but you know what? I wouldn't have loved it last year with the injury. I'm gonna just keep it real. We lost Tony Pollard. That was just a weapon, a big, huge weapon we'd have lost. I feel like it would have been a lot tougher game because you have that weapon. You guys would have known it on the defense, and it would have been a tougher way to go. I love to beat y'all at full strength, and especially with this season, the way we have added players through trading, and the way we're coming. I'm definitely looking forward to it, and I definitely would love to see you guys in the playoffs, especially if we come in the playoffs, both teams relatively healthy. I want to see that again. So, and we need to see this Jalen Hurts. We didn't get to see it last year, and it definitely needs to happen this year.
Yeah, and shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We got 120 people in here.
Shout out to y'all booming.
It has been a minute.
Metro Boomers.
Yeah, it's been a minute. So I
Yeah.
appreciate y'all. I'm
We
seeing a lot
appreciate
of
that.
names I haven't
It's the
seen in a
best. It's
minute.
the best of enemies podcast. They
The
love it over
best.
here.
The best.
The best.
I want to
You feel
ask you
me?
though, because a lot of people are talking about it, and
Not do.
you brought him up. You brought
Mhm.
him up. Obviously, you look at what the Eagles have done when it comes to their running back situation, right? We let Miles Sanders walk, and we have about 4 guys that were getting paid less than he is now. You guys went the opposite route. You guys franchise tagged Tony Pollard. You talked about how big of an injury that was in the playoffs. What is his role going to be? Because I've seen a lot of people saying different things. What do you think Tony Pollard's like? Is he going to be that lead dog, or is he still going to be kind of utilized in, maybe 1 or 2 guy type of rotation?
I mean, let's be honest. In my opinion, this is strictly my opinion. I don't think he's getting signed long term. I think they felt this was the 1 year rental, and then they probably move on or redraft. I think that's what's going to happen. But in this aspect, he's going to be the starter. But I feel like they got a Ronald Jones from the Buck. He played with the Bucks. He's more of the stronger back who's going to get you the tough yards. Obviously, we got Deuce Vaughn, we have Malik Davis, and Ezekiel Elliott is still in the fold of coming back. I feel like, in my opinion, if they're going to work this, because we're going to run that ball, you still want to keep Tony Pollard around those 15 carries. You ain't trying to beat Tony Pollard with 30 carry games. He's just not that type of back to me. You keep him fresh, and that's why you need to counteract having other backs with him. So I feel like they did it with Dalton Schultz last year with the 1 year deal. And they just franchised him because they were worried. Hey, we don't got no other tight end. We don't know what's here right now, so we got to make sure he don't go nowhere. So let's franchise him. Then they drafted, right? You get what I'm saying? So I feel like in their opinion was like, this ain't really going to hurt us that we signed him for that 1 year for that $10 million. Let's just roll with it. I feel like they're doing the same thing with Tony Pollard. So it ain't really about the money. It's that we just had to bring him back. We got an explosive player. Let's use that explosiveness, but let's still continue to keep other backs around him to keep him fresh so he can be dynamic toward the end of the season and the playoffs.
Yeah, you got the little mini Sproles.
Hey,
Deuce
he
Vaughn.
gonna turn up, dog. Deuce Vaughn is gonna.
I like it.
If they really use Deuce Vaughn the way I hope they do. I told him, go turn on the tape of Darren Sproles. They both went to the same school. I watched Darren Sproles religiously like I tell people, when I was religiously watching college football back then, I watched Darren Sproles all the time at Kansas State. And I wondered how good he would be because he was so damn small. Because he reminded me like of Eric Bieniemy. Because Eric Bieniemy was a little dude at Colorado, but he was a doggish running back. You feel me? He had a decent career. So I was wondering, is Darren Sproles even going to do anything? But to play, 14, 15 years, you saw what he did with you guys. But I said, go put on the tape with him, especially when he was with New Orleans and Drew Brees. They really utilized him, and that's where he had some of his best years as well, was at New Orleans. So go use that tape, figure out to get Deuce Vaughn in that game. He's going to be what we call our secret weapon. If we really use him, he's going to put some people on skates, and he's going to be exciting.
Yeah. And another question I want to ask, and then we'll get into the last couple of ones that we were talking about with matchups. With the Eagles, I feel like Howie Roseman has learned from his mistakes. I feel like over the past couple of years, he's made some bad picks, he's made some bad decisions, but every time that he's put back in that situation, I feel like he's starting to kind of learn from that. We had a good draft as well, and we were, aggressive as we kind of always are in the offseason. So with that, I ask you this. Jerry Jones, in my opinion, and your team in general, the Dallas Cowboys were aggressive, in my opinion, this offseason. Again, you guys had a decent draft. I think it's kind of similar to last year where you shot a lot of darts, and I think a lot of them should stick. But do you think your franchise, do you think Jerry Jones or Stephen Jones, whoever's really calling the shots at this point, do you think they're learning from their mistakes from year to year? It's just a weird question, I know, but do you think they're learning?
I don't think they're really learning from their mistakes. Let me just keep it real. The Joneses are the Joneses. They haven't changed, in my opinion. I'm not even going to even say they've changed. They're stuck in their ways. They're going to do what they do. But I feel like it's like this. This is from my perspective. Jerry Jones is about to be 81 years old, right? He know he ain't. I mean, he gotta know it's not going to be forever, right? So that's why I believe he got Mike McCarthy. He said it time and time again. I'm going to go back to this. He said, I want somebody with skins on the wall. I want somebody who's been in the foxhole. So now you see Kellen Moore is gone. The end of the Jason Garrett, Scott Linehan, Kellen Moore, all that stuff is gone. And when they asked the Joneses, specifically Steven, who wanted to get rid of Kellen Moore, he said it was Mike. They did not want to do it. So they were cool with going with Kellen Moore again and having this same type of system and winning all kind of games, but failing in the playoffs again. Mike was like, no, I'm going to do this myself. I want to do this my way. So I need to get him out of here and get my guys in. So I don't feel like they learn from their ways. I just feel like they're like, okay, I know how I'm not going to say I know how the Joneses are because I'm not in the brain, but I've been a Dallas Cowboys fan for a pretty long time. So I kind of feel like I know what's going on. But I feel like they're like, okay, well, you want Kellen Moore gone? All right. We'll get you this, and this. We'll go get you that receiver you want. We'll go get you that corner you want. We'll draft that defensive tackle in that first round. We're going to get you everything you want, and we're going to be watching. And if you fail in this year and a half or so, you're going to be gone. And that's what I feel like the Dallas, that hasn't changed. But they said, okay, we got everything. You want to go like this? Then, okay, well, we're going to give you that tool. We're going to watch and see. And I think they're going to be there. This is where they're kind of being quiet and watching and giving Mike the benefit of the doubt, because you get the benefit of the doubt when you have won a Super Bowl and you've been there and you won as many games he has. Your last coach, Jason Garrett, didn't give you that or afford you that. So I feel like that gives him a little bit more leeway in what they're trying to do.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun to watch. I'm excited for this year. I think we both, as far as Eagles and Cowboys, I think we both are excited and confident in our team, but I think there's a lot of questions that we still want answered as far as the play goes. So it's going to be fun to watch. Somebody, what he said, Rev Rebel said, Joe got that. Yeah, keep talking. Look,
He said Joe praying for our downfall.
It's funny because I go back and I look because my camera's over here, right, and then the laptop's over here. So like to look at you, I'm used to looking at you while I'm talking to you. So I have to like train myself to look over here. And it's like, I know I give really weird looks sometimes. But Willie wanted to ask you a question. I thought this was
a pretty good
question. Wow, what's going on, bro? Rome gonna start some shit. Rome, we were having a good day. Willie Vesa wanted to know, do you think we've done enough on defense to stop the run and RPO with the rookies we have?
I mean, obviously you can always add more. You can never not add enough. You feel me? So in that aspect, you can always add. You can get another linebacker. There's guys that are going to be cut, so there's still going to be guys, even after training camp, that some surprise cuts that are going to be out there that the Cowboys could scoop up. We have money available with Ezekiel Elliott. That's why they got rid of him, kind of the money as well. So Dallas has money to play with, so they can still add. But as of right now, I will honestly say yes, I feel good because number one, we were all clamoring. If we look at our defense last season, our defense was kick ass as far as the whole scheme of everything. We had 56 sacks. We were one of the top teams in the league in sacks. We gave up 4.4 yards a game, and I think like about 120. But for the most part, we stayed in that realm. And then when we added Jonathan Hankins in the fold, that was the big piece right there, in my opinion. I've been clamoring for him, and I think the yard per game was like 3.5 when he was in the game. And then you saw what we did against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, annihilated their run game. They didn't even run the ball against us. And even when we played the San Francisco 49ers, Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuels both did not run on us at all. And the big reason was you got Jonathan Hankins, a big boy in the middle who could hold up those guys and free your linebackers, right? Now you add a Mozzie Smith, who is 6'3", 337, and he's athletic. And like I said, I trust the defensive staff. I trust our defensive line coach and Durdy. I trust Dan Quinn that they're doing the right thing for him. And like I said, you got a Jonathan Hankins. Now you got a Mozzie Smith that you can both put in the middle, or a Bohanna that you can both put in there. And you got your rotation of Osa Ogadazua, Chauncey Golston. You still got D. Law now. You re-signed Dante Fowler Jr., Pat McKinley you brought back, your second round pick, and Sam Williams, okay. And then obviously you got maybe some undrafted guys. Fehoko could be in the mix. So there's a lot of guys in the mix that is there to stop the run. And yes, so if you're asking me that for right now, I feel like that was the piece that we needed. We have been screaming, right? Like, you feel me, Joe? We've been screaming for defensive tackles forever. You get what I'm saying? And now they're actually doing it because really they started in 2020 when they got Don Terry Poe and Gerald McCoy. That's when I knew it was a change in the guard. Now, those picks did not work out for the Dallas Cowboys, but the fact that they went out and did it, that's when I said, okay, they're listening to this guy because he's got the skins on the wall. So, and they're saying already, we need to get big boys in the middle. And I know Quinn likes that. So each year I've seen that trying to be an added. So I like what the direction they're headed as far as the defense. And I feel like Mozzie could be that missing piece for us to really go elite consistently.
Yeah, I feel like you never want to run stuffer until you don't have one. It's like, it's like one of those things like, what does this guy even do until you realize that once he's out, almost like Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis, while he didn't have the amount of snaps that we would have liked and definitely not the impact that maybe a, top 15 pick would necessarily have, you saw the difference from when he was in there, as a run stuffer from when he wasn't. It was a huge difference. So it's funny because, like I said, you never really think about a run stuffer until you don't have one and you see you just getting gashed up the middle.
You feel me? And, and Jordan Davis should be definitely, I heard the talk and things of that nature with Jordan Davis. But, obviously, he wasn't on the field and he had some injury issues, but we saw what Jordan Davis was at Georgia, and we saw in his little bit of flash with the Eagles what he could be. So in year 2, he should only get better because we always talk about how the big men are always better after the year 1. It's hard to come in your year 1 and do it. So I think that's what people might be like, oh, Mozzie's coming in as a rookie. That's tough to do. But when you already got a veteran around him and Jonathan Hankins and Bohanna already there, and you can flex the other guys, it can make it an easier transition, hopefully, for him. And I like the kid's attitude, man. I think that's what I'm really excited about with Mozzie is I love his attitude. You saw him with his mother. It feels like he has really good upbringing. He's a hard worker. And like I said, he played a lot of defensive snaps as the defensive tackle, man. We see those rotation by 15 to 20 plays with these one tech, these zero tech guys. This guy was playing like 41 snaps in these big time games. So that gets you hyped that guy can play more than one down. So you can hopefully get him around the 2 to 3 downs. You're bringing a guy in like that, you are hyped because that guy can stay on the field on passing downs and rushing downs, and it gives you a lot more flexibility of what you can do with your defense.
Yeah, I'm glad he's not making me change my feelings about him because I hate Michigan and I hate the Cowboys. So, it's a perfect 2-4. I'm excited for it. We're going to get back into the schedule. Hold on. Let me just see what Rome said real quick. Make sure he ain't starting no junk in the chat.
I think he'd be cool.
Yeah, he said, "How y'all gonna do with a big boy schedule, Joe? We ready for it, brother. We've been had a big boy schedule. It's the NFL. This is the NFL. Ain't no, you know what I'm saying, easy schedules. But we're gonna get into the ones that we don't have similar. I saw a lot of people talking about the Chargers for you guys. The Chargers and the Cardinals are probably similar reasons for us. But I'll let you start with the Chargers. Why are you excited to go against the Chargers?
That's the Kellen Moore game, dog. Everybody knows it. That's the damn Kellen Moore game. Nobody gives a hell about anything else. It's Kellen Moore versus us. Everybody's going to be watching that to see if, the offense, is he going to throw the option routes? Are they going to be explosive? Is Justin Herbert going to go crazy? I mean, everybody's going to be watching that game. You best believe that'll be one of the most watched games of the year. It's just a Kellen Moore game. That's all I can say about it. It's going to be a weird game to me. I'm going to watch. It's not going to have maybe much weight as maybe because I didn't trip on him as much, but I do want to see what our defense is going to do with his type of offense, and that's going to be the exciting thing. But that's the Kellen Moore game, dog. And our defense really needs to whoop their Taz, and we can't have no bad defensive game.
If just to be a devil's advocate, just to be a hater, let me actually say that correctly. If he does go out there and his offense has a field day on your defense, what would it be like in Dallas? What I know.
I don't think it's going to be as much. I think people are going to overrate it, in my opinion, because I never hated Kellen Moore and said he was a bad coordinator. So that's why it's not going to be crazy to me, Joe. You feel me? I already
Yeah.
feel like he's going to go over. I know he's going to go over there in San Diego and be successful, in my opinion. I felt like he was already. Now, if they come in, I really don't, they talk about the option routes. I just feel like he ain't doing that against us, dog. Whatever we thought he did when he ran that offense against us, he ain't going to do it when they play us, dog. He going to do something else because I don't care. You can't tell me it ain't going to be personal for him. You can't tell me it's not going to be personal for him. So I really want Dallas to be aware of that and be on it, because I feel like he's going to try to throw the kitchen sink at us and try to do all kind of crazy stuff he ain't never did before. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting. And if they do go, let's say they drop like 40 on us, a lot of people in the media be talking, but I won't. It just, hey, you played a good game. I thought he was a good coordinator. You got a lot of good talents. Not like San Diego don't got talent anyway. So I don't know why to be somebody trying to talk out the side of the neck like it's something crazy.
Yeah, no, I think it's gonna, like, I think you said it perfectly. I think it'll be the media and probably social media hyping it up.
Mm-hmm.
So the Eagles, no, they didn't. It's just the rumors. Somebody asked if I saw the Eagles schedule. Yeah, I've seen what they dropped. I've seen what they said is their schedule. We'll see what happens. I mean, I like it. It feels like both of them. If you look at the Eagles, what's it called? If you look at the Eagles schedule and you look at the Cowboys schedule, I feel like both of them get tough towards the second half of their schedule, if what I'm seeing is right. So
Mm-hmm.
I think we're both kind of in the same situation. He said no hate on Joe. So that's, it's always going to be a good comment when it starts with no hate. But you know
Right.
what I'm saying? But
Right.
he
Ready,
said
what's up?
only lightweight, sane Eagles fan, all fun. Yeah, I try to be. Once we get closer to the season, I'll be way less sane and way
Mm-hmm.
less unbiased. But
Well, I
we're
want to
having
say
fun.
something before you talk about them Cardinals. I think Gannon's a fraud.
I do
I
too.
think he is going to be one of those. They probably may not try to do the one and done with him because it's going to look bad on them. But I feel like he's going to be that bad with the Cardinals. Just me, be totally different. But I feel like he's not a head coach, at least not right now. I feel like he was given the job, just given to him, and I just don't feel like he's the guy. And I just don't feel like the Cardinals will be good. So honestly, I ain't gonna lie. I really want y'all to bury him. I don't like how he got on. I ain't gonna lie, and I just don't feel like he's the guy for the job. So I really want y'all to bury them when y'all play them.
Oh, I agree. You took the words right out of my mouth. You took the
Mm-hmm.
words right out of my mouth. The Eagles. I'll say this much. Last year, I shied away from like blaming him too much or talking too much junk, and I think I've said it on the show a couple of times. You can't really you can't complain with what the production was, right? What you
Mm-hmm.
saw on the field. Like, obviously, we almost broke records with the sack numbers. We broke a lot of franchise records when it came to that defense. But there was definitely something missing, and there was definitely something that you looked at and you're just like, this isn't right. Like, I feel like it was the talent carrying him and not the other way around. I said it in a video this morning. There wasn't much decisions for him to make. It was like, just, don't make I don't even know what he did, to be 100% honest. I felt like our defense just got lucky and worked. But this year we have a really good defensive coordinator, and I would love to see nothing more than to just blow them out the water. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Gannon, beyond who he was on the field, him lying about, the Arizona Cardinals meeting at the NFC Championship game, and not just lying about it, but sitting there and being like, oh, there's no way. Me and Philly, whether they want me or not, I'm staying here. We're good. We're here no matter what.
Didn't I tell you that, Joe? I
But
think we
why
talked about
lie?
that. But I knew as soon as they say that, Joe, it's always a lie. You can't
Yeah.
really hate on them in that aspect because they all do that. Every college coach, I'm coming back. Oh yeah, we're gonna run this back, and then next week they signed the deal. What are they gonna say in the media? You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna hedge their bets in the media and let anybody know their thing. So they're always gonna say that positive stuff. So in that aspect, you can't really fault him because 100 million dudes have done that already before him. But I do feel like he was maybe kind of deceitful in a way how he went about it. And I don't know, dog. There's something about him. No, bro. I just don't think you're
He
gonna be
weird.
that. Yeah, I just don't think you're gonna be that good head coach. There's something about him, dog. I don't know what it is, but I just don't feel like you're gonna be a good head coach.
Yeah, I try to be respectful. I try to be, you know what I'm saying, like I try to be professional to a certain extent, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like to talk junk about people, especially in that profession. But yeah, nah, he's a weird dude. Jonathan Gannon is a really weird dude, and I just don't like them. The Cardinals have nothing. I have nothing against the Cardinals, but Hassan Reddick, I know, got a little bit of beef with. You know what I'm saying? So I'm inheriting all my dogs' beef, and hopefully we get Buda Baker, and he can have some beef with him too. I hate Jonathan Gannon. So now that he's not part of the team, I'm glad that we get this opportunity to just knock him the heck out. I really
y'all
can't
better
wait.
blast him. Y'all hope y'all stomped him really, really
I
bad.
can't wait. I can't wait. I
I hope
cannot
they
wait.
go like 2-15.
If they win 2 games, I might be a little upset. Only reason I'll be mad that they don't win more than 3 or 4 games is because they don't deserve the first pick next year. Jonathan Gannon don't deserve any. So let me stop because I can go on a whole hour rant of how I hate Jonathan Gannon. You opened up a can of worms. But shout out to everybody in the chat. We got 130 people. We're about 10 minutes away from the schedule to
Metro
actually get
booming.
released. Yeah, we out here, man. We out here today. That was not tampering. It was definitely tampering. Rev Rebel says, being honest, my Cowboys is only going to lose 5 to 6 games this year already, marking the schedule, Joe. We're going to do that. We're going to definitely do our predictions. Both of us were right last year. Both of us
right on the money.
Yeah, exactly right. So we're definitely gonna have to do it again this year, so we can get y'all ready for y'all bets. You know what I'm saying?
Get y'all ready for y'all bets because we on point. You feel me? Joe called his, and I called mine. We called ours to the T.
Yeah, I'm still
the T.
I'm still proud of that. I'm still proud of that.
I'll give you props on that because when you said it, I was like, well, I
14,
ain't giving you 14, dog. Not with no new quarterback as far as them just really taking over. But you called it. But hey, I hit my Cowboys right on the money too. So hey, shout out to us for us hitting the bingy. Let's do it
We
again.
should have put our money on that. We might have to actually. We might both just put $10 on.
Yeah, we might have to put some hollers on it. Yeah, let's put some hollers on that this year. Yeah,
let's go to the last one. This is obviously both of us have a different one as well. I think everybody knows why Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know. You know, like I said earlier, don't get me wrong, and I stand on what I said. The regular season, winning in the regular season will not make up for anything that happened last year. I want them in February. Like I want to make that very, very clear. I'm not saying the Eagles are, a lock to make the Super Bowl, but I want them in February. That's what will make me feel better about last year. And even that wouldn't make me feel better. I'm gonna be honest. I'm just gonna be happy that we won this year. But I want Kansas City, man. I want that game. I think that, it'll be a nice band-aid on a gunshot. That's kind of what it would feel like. Like, you know what I'm saying? It would at least cover the wound for a little bit, It wouldn't heal it, but it would definitely cover it a little bit. And again, this is another kind of like we were saying with the Bills game. This is a measuring stick, man. If you go out there and you beat I'm not going to say that. If you go out there and beat the Chiefs, I was going to say the Super Bowl thing. I can't say it yet. But if you go out there and you beat the Chiefs, I think that says a lot to a lot of teams. And especially if your defense can do a lot better than they did last year, because that was ridiculous. Last year, I could talk about that Super Bowl for an hour. But, I mean, that's really where I'm at. I think that'll be a great game for the NFL in general. But I definitely want a little bit of revenge. Like I said, it wouldn't be fully healing, but it would feel nice. It would definitely feel nice. But you got the Dolphins, which I thought was a pretty interesting team. I wasn't expecting you to say the Dolphins. Why the Dolphins?
Because they're an up and coming team, man. And I was thinking about putting Detroit on there. I could mix and match those because Detroit is going to be a better team. But I feel like we got Detroit's number now. You know what I'm saying? So, and they're going to be a better team. Detroit's going to be good, and I'm glad they're good. I never hated Detroit, but I hated all of them always going through what they went through, their fans going through that. And I am glad that they're finally building a team over there. And I like Campbell as the coach. I really like him as a coach. So, I could have put that game, but the reason why I went with the Miami Dolphins is because I don't care. People can say what they want. Miami is an up-and-coming team, man. I want to go against the Tyreek Hill and the Jalen Waddle. We got Cedric Wilson, who they got, who was our former guy. They made the playoffs last year. They came out of nowhere. They're going to be an explosive team. They added Jalen Ramsey along with Howard on the team, so they got 2 legit corners. So that's going to be a good matchup with CeeDee Lamb and with Brandon Cooks. And then on our end, we have Gilmore and Trevin Diggs going against Waddle and Hill. Hey, that's exciting, dog. That's exciting football to me. So I think that's the thing that's got me excited. is this? It's going to be one of those. I think this might be one of those high scoring game. A lot of excitement, a lot of points, a lot of just big plays, and I think it'll be that type of game. So I guess I put it in there for the excitement standpoint, the entertainment standpoint. I just gonna feel like it's gonna be one of those type of games where it's gonna be a lot of fireworks on both sides of it, and I want to watch both sides.
Yeah, I think that'll be Miami's gonna be a good team. I guess it comes down to the health of their quarterback. Obviously, last year was all over the place with that. So, I'm praying that he stays healthy because it was fun watching them play when he was in there. That offense was ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it'll be I wanted to put the Patriots because we're getting
I'm
boy.
done with you. Yeah,
That's the only reason.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good on them Patriots. That luster that was there, it only was because of Brady. I ain't really Belichick. Yeah, I ain't worried about no damn Patriots no more.
Yeah, we supposedly the rumor is that we're playing them week 1, and that week 1 they're gonna do like this whole Tom Brady memorial thing and blah blah blah. I would love that. I would love to whoop their tail on Brady Day. Like I hate Tom Brady and I hate the Patriots.
I can't stand Brady either.
Yeah, so I would love that. I would not be mad at that. I was gonna put them because they do have a lot of connection to us in some weird way. Like you look at, obviously we beat them in the Super Bowl. It'll be Brady Day or whatever. But they have Juju, they have Jalen Mills. So they have a little bit of a connection to us. So it would be fun. I think it would be fun to play them, but not something I'm like totally gung ho about. I was gonna put the Bucks because they're coming out to Tampa this year. Philly's coming out to Tampa, so I'm definitely gonna go see them. And they picked a lot of players that I liked. I really like Cody Monch. I really love Elijah Cansey.
Yeah, but I ain't thinking about no Bucks no more. I'm
They
keeping it
would be
real.
interesting though.
They might be interesting, but I ain't thinking about no Bucks. The only thing they had was Tom Brady. Once that I feel like the all thing is kind of just crumbling. They rebuilding.
Yeah, they're gonna probably suck this year. I think they picked up Buddha, if I'm not mistaken, and they're linked to your guy Zeke. So Zeke might come out here.
We'll see. I ain't tripping on no Zeke Elliott. He come back with Dallas, I'm cool. If he don't, I'm cool.
Cool. So, all right, last question I want to ask before we get ready for for them to actually drop these
and everybody go ham on Twitter. That's all I'm going to see on Twitter. Oh my God.
People are gonna go crazy about these. I will say this too: the back and forth. Like me and you do this every week. Obviously, we missed a couple weeks or whatever, but we do this every week. And even if we don't do this show, we talking junk back and forth, or just talking back and forth, or whatever it may be. But the amount of people on Twitter from Eagle side and Cowboy side, I'm not putting this on one side, that are just talking back and forth. When no football is being played. It's like,
I've never seen it like this. I've been doing this content creating since 2017, and I've been on Twitter, and I haven't been on it heavily. But yes, this is the last 2 years. But I'm gonna keep it real. Lord Brunson, and Rome have really set this off. Yeah. Rome said he is the voice of Cowboys Nation, and I believe it.
Yeah, same thing with Brunson.
Yeah, like Brunson is y'all's voice for Philly, and Rome is our voice for Dallas. And they started this wildfire going back and forth on Twitter, and it just attached everybody to jump in it. All the fans have jumped in it, content creators have jumped into it, and it's just nonstop now. So if any Philly is posted, a Cowboys person's coming on there now. Any Cowboy stuff, a Philly person's coming on there. So I'm gonna. That is the blame. So shout out to Rome and Brunson, because y'all did the damn thing and starting this fire. Y'all rigged. If there was a rivalry that was kind of lacking, y'all two reignited it, and now it's on and popping. Every single game, there's going to be back and forth, even when we ain't playing. So that's what really started. Those two guys went hard in the paint and really just got it popping.
Yeah, I had to mute a couple of Rome's minions because they were annoying the hell out of me yesterday.
Oh, so y'all. That's why. Hey, you see me? I don't say nothing on Twitter no more with that Philly stuff because it's relentless. If you say one little thing, to be on your Twitter handle, all damn Twitter handle. I ain't got that to do. I drive for a living, so I ain't got to be doing all the Twitter fingers back and forth. So I ain't jumping in it. All I do is sip my tea. I sit back and eat me some popcorn, and I listen to y'all go at it. And I wait till the Best of Enemies podcast to get mine off.
Exactly. Yeah, and now that the season's starting to get closer, that's kind of what it's going to be like. Like I said last year, I say this every year. The closer that the NFL season gets, the more unrealistic and biased I become. And once day one starts, you can't tell me nothing. My Eagles are winning the Super Bowl. That's what it is. We can have our conversations, and I'll be unbiased and real then. But once that first game starts, I'm gonna be sitting here. Let's go. It's time to make this trek to the Super Bowl, especially this year, because it feels good. It feels
Hmm.
good.
Hmm.
But I want to ask you this, because I think if I look back at the Eagles from last year to now, the team that we had, the staff that we had, I think that the Eagles, at the very worst, have sidestepped. I think that we have gotten a little bit better, especially when it comes to coaching. You can make arguments about players that we lost, but I do think that this team is just as good, if not better, than last year. How do you feel about your Dallas Cowboys?
I feel the same exact way. I feel like this team is just as good, if not better. Especially now, I keep on saying that Kellen Moore is gone, and I'm not hyping the Brian Schottenheimer pick, but what I am hyping is the togetherness. Dan Quinn and Mike McCarthy, they mess with each other. We can go back to 2014. We were talking about this on my show Wednesday, the call-in show, that they've been banging against each other since 2014 when McCarthy was with the Packers and Quinn was with the Seahawks, and Schottenheimer was over with the Seahawks as well. So all three of them got history. They got tight history, and I just feel like they moved the guy who wasn't in the cool. He wasn't in the cool circle. It was McCarthy and Quinn. They was in the cool circle, and Kellen Moore was on the outside in. So you go ahead and get out of there. And so I think that's what got me excited, is that Dan Quinn and Mike McCarthy on one accord, one mind and one accord. Because we got to remember, they tried to poach Dan Quinn twice from the Cowboys, and he has stayed. So there's got to be something there for him to continue to stay. And I know how bad he's wanted to head coach again, and he keeps coming back. I think that McCarthy is an element to keep him back. So I ain't gonna lie, Joe. I'm excited about the team, because when your coaches are all on one accord, the team is on one accord, and you see the difference on the playing field.
Facts. So the Cowboys just dropped their schedule. The
Mm-hmm.
Eagles just dropped their schedule, and it looks like all the leaks were right. So
Yep.
it looks like all the leaks were right.
Yeah.
So let's get it. Let's get it, dog. That's what everybody been waiting for. I thought they were gonna make this way more drawn out. This was like the most anticlimactic schedule drop of my life, but hey, whatever. I hope they make a cool video. So it's that time, man. It's that time. I have fun today. I'm glad to be back with the best of enemies. Is there anything you want to say before we get out of here? Let these people go watch the video drops, because that's what I'm gonna look at. I'm gonna go look at the schedule video that just dropped, so I know everybody else on the same page.
Only thing I'm gonna do is, dog, I'm just gonna give you a major shout out. And can we get some fire emojis for my dog Joe? For the awesome coverage at the combine. My dog was official at the combine. Then he comes right back with the draft, official, interviewing the Jalen Carters, interviewing the players. He talking to them, y'all. Like he wasn't with me. He wasn't with me talking. He wasn't with me talking. He is at the NFL talking. You feel me? Going hard in the paint, man. And I'm just proud of you, dog. I don't care from the Cowboys side, from Philly side, give this man his props. He's one of the hardest working guys in the industry, bro. And he's still messing with Mike Vick, doing his thing over there, killing it, killing the interviews. You just over there killing it, bro. And I just love it. So I'm just always give you the big ups from what you're doing, bro. It's awesome to see. I love sitting back and watching you just grow and do your thing. So that's the biggest thing for me, man. Just keep on supporting Joe like no other. Keep all you Philly fans. This is the guy. If this guy tells you he goes hard trying to get y'all the newest, latest, and greatest. Like, he is going out of his mind to try to get y'all the best and try to get y'all the best, most accurate content out there. If you're a Philly fan, you better follow this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could be your spokesman if I want to be a Philly person.
I was about to say,
I could really put you. I could put you on. You know what I'm saying? That gift of gab is ridiculous. But yeah, man, y'all need to go ahead and holler at my guy, because you've been doing tremendous, bro. And I just really love, because from where we started and to where you had your own goals, to see how they're coming out right now is just amazing to see, and salutes to you.
Facts. Now we thought, you my dog. You have become one of my best friends on and off the show stuff. And I told you when we started this stuff, man, there was things I wanted to do, and I'm blessed lucky, you know, whatever you want to call it, to be finally doing it, man. I'm excited this year. Hopefully more things are going to be happening. I'm sure they will. And then, you know, this best of enemy stuff going to be rocking out because those play-by-plays were a lot of fun. So I know those those are gonna be lit this year. But shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Still got 100 people out here. Joe went on tour. Y'all crazy. These comments be hilarious. But nah, yeah, I appreciate everybody that tuned in. Be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe. I hope you guys enjoy Schedule Thursday. But y'all know what it is, man. I'm Joe. That is James, and we are the best of enemies. Peace.